So this is an interesting question because I know there are people that are running their business right now who are still kind of stuck a little bit in the customer service weeds. What allowed you to get out of the weeds and go from being in it to hiring a team underneath you? Anything that what did you guys use for software? Anything that was helpful? And then also anything you learned about hiring people in the customer service role?
Yeah. So to answer the first part of the question, I think the best thing that you can do from a customer service side is just have a system and have really clear policies. Because it's really easy to say, like, figure it out, make the customer happy and that kind of stuff. But as you grow, that's just impossible to scale. And it ends up taking more time to answer a ticket because you're not exactly sure how you're supposed to handle it. So that was a big body of work that I did before handing that off, was like writing out a lot of SOPs, which that comes from the nonprofit side of me, but having just really clear, like, if this happens, do this. If this happens, do this. And then our stack, we started with Help Scout, which I really loved. That's like a really great platform for small teams. And then we used AirCall for our phone. AirCall? I think AirCall. They all have such similar names. And
They're
then
all
that
basically
integrated.
something
I know.
something plus call.
Right.
Zen
So
call, air call, whatever.
I think it was AirCall.
Yeah.
It integrated right into Help Scout, and it was just everything was in one spot. And then we had a ton of saved replies within Help Scout to allow them, like our team, to just move through things really quickly, because it was apparel. Just a lot of the questions were about returns or fit and stuff like that we could write out in a way that still felt, in our language. It didn't feel like a robot was replying it. And then what I always encouraged our team to do was try to personalize it a little bit so that we'd still had that touch. Again, like not feeling like it's a robot or someone that's like completely disconnected from the product. But yeah, just having systems in place was hugely helpful. And then in terms of hiring and growing that team, honestly, we did all of our hiring through LinkedIn and posting jobs there. But then in terms of interviewing and finding people, the best people were people who were living that lifestyle. So
Sure.
people who had like been in Charleston, they, maybe they're not fishing, but they're living that outdoor lifestyle. Like it's ingrained in them. And that just made it way easier for them to talk to our customers. We actually had, I hope that Megan listens to this, but one of our customer service reps had this lovely older gentleman who would only order over the phone. And he would call and ask to talk to Megan, and they would have nice conversations. And she got married while she was working there. He sent her a wedding gift. So I always told the team that the goal was to get invited to one of our customers' weddings. That was their goal.
I mean, that's awesome. It's also like a really good story to be able to tell. Like there's, every business has like business stories about something that happened. That's a really great one
Yep.
to be able to share. I think it's interesting because the customer service side of things, when you're talking about personalization and adding a little bit to make sure that it feels like genuine and unique, I think there's nothing that pisses people off more than asking a customer service question and then getting a canned response that's wrong or isn't relevant, right? It can take somebody from being like 6 out of 10 frustrated with something to like 10 out of 10 because they're like, this person's wasting my time on top of some issue. I like that kind of idea of, read it and then personalize it and send it to make sure that they know that you care.